We're the Big Bad Beetle Bros.
Ew.
Hey.
And we're back
What's
for
up,
episode
dudes?
17. I'm Cam.
Oh, I'm Nick. Sorry, I'm not there.
Okay, well, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ryan.
So this episode is called Haunted Hideout. The name's not as good as the episode actually was. The episode is actually pretty solid.
It was
Everything
an
but the
excellent
villain.
episode,
Yeah. For what we've had the last few ones, the monster was pretty shit.
Yeah.
But
Well,
everything else kind of stepped up.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because they didn't have a monster they could use for American footage, because this
Yeah.
monster was 100% Japanese footage, right?
Yeah.
I don't
They
think
didn't have the suit.
No, not at all. I don't
Yeah.
think
The
so.
only American footage we saw was of the Beetleborgs themselves when they were in the forest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the purple gun popped up a couple times.
Yeah.
We start off this episode
With the bombastic bagmen.
these two sticky bandits.
Yeah, for real.
We're the Sticky Bandits.
These guys are robbing the bank, and they're doing a shit job of it.
Right.
They're-
One guy has his hand in his pocket, the jacket, oh, I got a gun in here, which is code for I totally don't got a gun in here,
Yeah,
because
right.
you only do that if you don't want people to know you have a gun in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yep. And Nano's in line.
The other guy has...
Yeah, Nano did a bitch and kick move.
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
Flips over the velvet rope.
Yeah, she didn't give a shit if they did have a gun or not.
Nano,
Did she
fuck
actually?
around.
Did she kick him? She kicked the one
Yeah,
guy, right?
Yeah, she kicked him in the
she
chest
came
and he went
out of
flying.
the flip and into a kick. And did he fly into the other guy? Was that-
No, he flew past him
No, he
because
was-
the other
Oh,
guy
okay.
was
Yeah.
still standing and he had the banana.
Right.
the-
Oh, yeah.
But because she kicks the tall guy, right? And that's when
Yeah.
the banana gets revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe, the kids realize that Nano's in there. The alarm, I guess, an alarm is going off.
Yeah.
They run in, and Joe.
Oh,
pushes
Roland
it.
goes to get the cops.
Roland goes to get the cops. Right. He
On his
he
bike, yeah.
snaps and skedaddles.
Bedaddles, I love it. We need to write that
We were a
down.
little worried about him, but it all turned out okay.
Joe and Drew run into the bank. Joe rolls a chair violently across the floor
Right.
and hits.
Yes.
Like they've done so many times before that
Yeah.
somehow had momentum enough to knock someone
Just
over.
saying. He never pulls anything out of that pocket, and the other guy is holding a bag that says comics on it.
The not Joe Pesci gets
Right.
tossed into the chair and then flips over the chair headfirst into a trash can. He's got a bomb strapped to his chest.
Bomb, 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 bomb. You gonna arrest me?
Tension escalates quickly.
Yeah.
It's like with the
You,
vintage clock.
Yeah, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
the long
No,
red
it's
sticks
an
of
old Acme
dynamite.
style,
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
But it's still definitely something you could not have done roughly 4 years after this game.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as the bad guys got into the bank, they stole the Elvis pink Cadillac fucking getaway car they had.
Yes, it's
That
gold.
thing was
It's
dope,
it's
yeah.
great.
I like that they've upgraded from eating trash to stealing cars now.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic
From
GTA
raccoon
rules.
crime, dude.
Yeah. And Typhus does not know how to drive. Apparently.
Oh yeah, and they start off calling him by the wrong name. They call him Noxix is like,
Hey, Doofus!
The name's Typhus.
Yeah, right, Doofus.
yeah, he's like,
Doofus.
your name is Toofus. No, it's not. It's the grandma. And leans over to Jorah. See, I told you about this asshole.
If only he had gone into the bank and seen the grandma. Wasn't the comic they pulled the bad guy from in the
Yeah,
getaway
because
car?
whenever the bad guys leave the bank, they're like, "Hey, they took our car. Our comics were in there. Or my
Right.
comic was in there."
Yeah,
Right.
he specifically thinks about his fucking comic when he's trying to escape the supposedly armed bank robbery he just committed.
So yeah, the robbers run away. They
West
steal
Coast stars?
Joe and Drew's bikes. The cops have now gotten there. They're interviewing everyone, but they tell the kids to scram because I guess they're not viable witnesses.
Yeah.
They kind of interview
Nano.
They start to interview Nano, but I think that's when we cut to the kids outside
Yeah.
realizing,
Oh,
if they're gonna leave town, if they're on their bikes pedaling as fast as they can, they're gonna need a hideout to rest because they're
Yeah.
pedaling.
Yeah.
What's out of town and away from everything? And they were like, Hillhurst,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing that's out of town.
Is that the only road out of town, too?
Meanwhile, we cut to, I guess, just a motorcycle cop that's not associated with the robbery at all. The bad guy, the villains, are gunning it in reverse in the Cadillac down the street.
They just fucking took off in reverse, didn't bother
In
to
a
fix
straight
it.
line.
Yeah.
Like after
And-
after having shifted like all the way down, obviously into drive.
Right.
But the robbers
Magnivores.
kick in.
Yeah, they
And
they
then-
walk in. They're like, this is the perfect hideout. Of course it is. Like, this is abandoned. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Same shit they say every time. Every time somebody decides
Yeah.
to hide in
Yeah.
Hillhurst. It's the
And
same shit
Wolf-
we
Or
hear.
film something in it.
They start walking around the house, and as they're doing it, the monsters are like creeping in, like in between the walls. like their little
Yeah.
crawl spaces they
Yeah.
go in.
The bad guys flip the bookshelf, and
Right, that's what he
the
gets
Pesci dude, I think, does the book, and the skinny dude, Luigi,
The tall guy, yeah, Luigi.
and gets flipped around into the bookcase thing.
So the monsters run out. They're chasing after. They're gonna eat them because that's their shtick. Every
Yeah.
time they encounter anybody, including
They're
the
hungry.
kids, every episode, they just don't ever get
Wolfie's
to
the only one we've seen actually eat anything, and that's just dog treats. That's empty calories right there.
The kids show up to Hillhurst
Yeah,
to
how
go
did-
wake up Flabber.
Yeah, we do. He gets those stretches in.
He does a lot of stretches.
And Flabber has had stuff played around his booty. Was that
Yes.
who it was, or did he do that to someone else?
That was the guy that plays Wolfgang. Took the Flabber doll. Was it?
Yeah,
a
it was the
doll?
Flabber doll they
Took a
had.
Flabber doll and shoved
And
it.
shoved
in,
the nose up
in
his butt.
Flabber's butt. It's a good bit. It's a good bit. It was funny. Kids like run up and they wake up Flabber, who is sleeping in a nightgown, floating in the air,
And he has Peggy Hill-sized feet.
They alert him that the robbers are there. The monsters have chased the robbers into like the main hall.
The lobby.
Yeah, the lobby.
The foyer.
The foyer. The kids run downstairs with Flabber, run into the monsters chasing the villains into the foyer. The monsters are trying to eat the robbers.
Right.
And at some point, like Flabber, immediately as soon as he sees that they're robbers, the kids explain, yeah, these guys just robbed a bank. Flabber goes like, Judge Flabber's in the house.
He like talks to them a bit before that, doesn't he?
He says something to the thieves.
Because isn't he? I thought he wasn't the judge until they were already like trapped on the stairs.
The monsters like are wanting to eat them, and he's trying to tell the monsters not to, and they're like, they're thieves anyway.
He's trying to sort it out, but he's a little tired of the whole. All right, stop and explain.
Yeah, Judge Flabber's in the house.
Please rise for
And-
Judge Flabber.
We don't have a lawyer. This isn't legal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Flabber splits himself in half. His head and hands teleport in like they tend to.
Yeah.
And he is a lawyer in a suit with a briefcase, and he cracks open the briefcase.
So he says, my clients say that they did not commit this crime, and he's like, but
But
they're
they're
lying.
My clients plead not guilty. But they're lying.
And they go, no, we need,
We
a,
need a
jury.
jury.
So he points at the monsters, and a jury stand appears, sentences them to life in Hillhurst,
And then
and puts them behind bars in prison, like black and
Dracula
white
or
stripes.
whatever's like, but that won't be long. Yeah, they go to run away up the stairs or something, and the bars come
bars
down
up
as
here.
if they don't have the entire second story they
Which
can go to.
I might be wrong, but I think that's a gimmick in the Hillhurst playset.
You
Is
might
a
be
j-
right.
Is some kind of cage or something to come down on the stairwell.
Oh, really?
Big Nano and the dad
as
of and Roland's
as soon
dad.
as the trial like ends, quote unquote, with
Yeah.
Flabber imprisoning these men, the kids bolt outside. The cops and detective have like been yelling with a megaphone to like come out with their arms up. To be fair, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because they are being held hostage and going to be cannibalized. Well, cannibalized is a strong term. Eaten.
Yeah, eaten one way or another.
The Magnivores, out of the comic that was left in the Cadillac, they pull right up through the like orchard or vineyard, we've never decided, summon a monster out of it. And I swear to God, I know it was a while ago, but we've kept him on the ranking. Sword Warrior is probably my least favorite monster we've had to date.
Definitely least creative.
Only almost entirely because of the name, but also because he didn't do jack shit in the episode. They summon Mace Warrior. M-A-C-E.
You
not-
would think he carries pepper spray, but no, he doesn't even carry a medieval mace.
No. And he's got an axe with a mace in the middle, like a ball with spikes on it is what like a mace typically is. But like the axe blades are what he hits people with. So he should be Axe Warrior. I hate both of them so much.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm sorry, I'm biased already. This guy's going to the bottom of the
Yeah,
list. I don't give a shit.
was Sword Warrior at the bottom?
He's pretty fucking close.
I was gonna say I can't remember who's worse than him.
Terror Bear.
Oh,
We only see Mace Warrior in Japanese footage from here on out.
yeah. There's zero American footage. I
yeah,
guess they didn't have the suit.
They must not own that suit, which we haven't. So far, we have seen every monster in some level of American footage.
which is what was so noticeable about
Yeah,
it.
and
Because
it was-
so much. It was so much Japanese footage that they didn't even bother changing the guns in one of the scenes.
Because it's so much Japanese footage, we actually get really good fight scenes. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can't like go scene for scene describing it because it's really good, but a lot of shit happens. And you just like if you're gonna watch an episode, this is honestly an episode to watch.
Definitely.
Just for the fight
was
scenes.
good.
That
Yeah.
and
Um,
whatever. A couple
I-
episodes back, we read that really good one.
Yes, I really hate. I don't hate the design of Mace Warrior. I don't hate the fight with Mace Warrior because they named him Mace Warrior,
Yeah.
and because he had nothing thematically to. there's no
He just kind
reason.
of shows up to fight. Like,
Yeah,
there's-
the Beetleborgs are really concerned about the amount of damage being done to the forest, which is weird because we don't usually see this much concern when they're blowing up cities blocks, like entire buildings. But a couple trees get knocked down in the forest, and fuck, they're pissed.
Right.
I'm telling you, dude, the Beetleborgs are getting classified as eco-terrorists.
God, they're right there with
look
Captain
away.
Planet.
Yeah, he's a hero.
You'll pay for this, Captain Planet.
Mace Warrior kind of does his shtick, and I think genuinely if they had given him a different name, or if he had been fit into a different episode, I'd really like this monster.
Yeah, his suit was cool.
Yeah, the suit's really cool. He summons some Magnivore jets, and we actually get some new Magnivore jet fight footage with the Beetle
Do the-
AVs, the
yeah.
Beetle AVs. Usually when there's a Magnivore jet fight, it's the same footage every time. So when we do finally get something that is new footage, they look different.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
We're so
definitely.
accustomed to their face.
Yeah.
I've grown accustomed to their face.
So,
Yeah.
the green AV opens up the like wings of the beetle part of it, and it's got a magnet chunk in it. And the blue AV drives up and connects to it, and it's got a magnet bit. And then the blue AV opens up, the green AV drives up to the back of it and pulls out two double drills, which.
So it's kind of like a mechanical centipede situation going on.
Yeah, and we've never seen this before, and it's kind of neat. It's a weird way to attach new weapons, but it is kind of modular and neat. It makes
Yeah.
sense
I
in a
mean,
mechanical way,
the-
I guess.
I think
And
it's
it's
a
a cool
little
sequence.
telling
Yeah.
that every single bit of footage of the new weapons looks exactly like a toy.
Mace Warrior's lighting the forest on fire.
There's some pretty sweet CGI of like two cars and a like plane kind of deal that very much look like early 90s CGI.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Aaron's never seen the AV. You've never seen anything from this.
No, this is
Era,
pretty
I
much.
guess.
I've seen a couple episodes of this, but this is pretty much my first
So you-
exposure. I wanted to stay pretty
Pretty clean.
Yeah.
Dive in.
It's mostly Roland, the Green Hunter Borg, that finishes the fight. He picks him up with his Hunter Claw, and they go to that like weird hellscape fire scene, and he picks him up, spins him, and just explodes him in this hellscape. And that's the end
Centrifuges
of
the
Act
fuck out of
1.
him.
So then he, from this fire hellscape,
Comes
like goes
Flabber.
back into the comic. The comic is in the back of a cop's pocket.
Yeah,
He
it
comes
fucking
in on fire and goes into the comic and lights the comic on fire.
it looks weird and
And it
forced.
pushes the guy back, and he starts like smacking his ass, trying to get the fire out. Doesn't take the comic out.
Oh,
of his
speaking of
ass, 'cause
ass,
that
we
would make
didn't
sense.
talk about whenever Flabber gave the guy
right.
Kardashian at cheeks.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, when Flabber was judge,
Yeah.
he made some move and didn't really make any sense to anything he said or did, but he inflated
'cause-
his pants.
Yeah, no, he just
Because-
kind of did it.
I don't remember what Flabber said, but the
He
guy
just
kept saying
made the
but.
guy thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy said but, so Flabber
Yes.
was like,
Wow.
okay.
Aaron, you've
Not
not
enough
watched
booze.
an episode with us of actual Beetleborgs.
That's true. I am amazed at how quickly I have become so sexually attracted to Flabber.
Oh, he is raw sexual
It
magnetism.
really is. Like,
Yeah. It's
like
the
just-
Liberace quality of it.
It's that jaw, I think. It's the combination jaw and nose that really just
Yep.
it fucks your face as soon as you see it.
Then you
Yeah.
see the feet, and you're just like, whoa.
It's like
well,
a real Roxanne
if-
Cyrano de Bergerac
If you know anything
situation.
about me, you know I'm a footman. So
Flabber's coming!
Bomb, 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 bomb. You gonna arrest me?